fake Hikaru is starting to really think about what is life. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to episode 6 of The Summer Hikaru Died. Now, previously, we had an encounter with the wig ghost who, went inside Yoshiki. They really love things going inside Yoshiki, don't they? They really do love things going inside other things, don't they? Let us just get into episode 6, shall we?
Yoshiki! 端っこ、折れて待ってるよ。
スワンプマン。雷に打たれて別人に変身したんやっけ？
ちゃうよ、確か。
死んだんや。そしたら記憶も見た目も全く同じ男が別に生まれて、そいつは自分が死んだ男と別人やって気づかんで家に帰ったって話。お前らはどう思う？
何が？
死んだ男。
Interesting how they bring this up, right? And let me guess, right? He's gonna ask if the new guy, yeah, classic, right? I guess we have to talk about this. The other day, actually, I was, just on my phone in bed, and I was scrolling, and I saw, I think it was like, you know how there are some Reddit threads about like, what if scenarios, right? And occasionally you see shit like this as well, where people are like, hey, as an example, right? If your partner was cloned, and they are 100% identical, like they have the same memories, they're just a clone of your partner, right? Would you choose the clone over the original plus like $100 million? Or would you just, stay with the original? And in the situation that Yoshiki just described, the difference between that situation and the situation that he is in is completely different. It is not even close to the same. The difference here being that, and this is the same thing that happened in Summertime Render, is that they are not an exact replica. They are not an exact copy, clone. They might look human, but it's clear that they are not, right? They have different powers of they have shadow powers in Summertime Render. In here, they have like supernatural, like whatever the fuck Hikaru turns into when he's, going off, I guess. The point is that they not only have memories from the time when they weren't that person, but also they have abilities and things that they can do that the original could never do, which means they are not a one-to-one copy. They might have the same memories, they might have the same appearance, but they are not the same. It's like saying, like an iPhone 5 is the same as an iPhone 15 because they can both access the internet or have some of the same apps or some of the same features. It's like, yeah, but they're not even close to the same thing. I believe, personally, two people are the same. Two people are the same. This is, okay, this is more technical, right? But like, to me, it's the experiences, different memories. That's what makes two people different. So it's like, if you make a clone of a person, and then, I would say for the first, I don't know, maybe for the first day, I would say, they might be the same person. But after the first day, they're not anymore. Maybe it's even less time than a day, to be honest. It's basically like if this person is in a room and they get cloned, right? And both the original and the clone are in the same room and they keep being together while moving around or whatever, they're constantly going through the same experience, then I would say they're the same person. However, the moment they separate and they go off on their own and they start having different experiences with different people, different conversations with other people, that's when they become different people. That's my viewpoint on it.
数年前と同じ細胞やないもんさ。実質それと同じやない？
確かにな。でも本当の男は沼の中で死んでいっとるんよ。
したらもう別人やろ。 やって一瞬でも二人存在しとるやん。
あ、確かにマキンくせに鋭いこと言うな。でも傍から見たらずっと同じ一人やん。結局他人なんて外から見たもんでしか判断できやんし。
もうわかんねえ。なんでもええんちゃう。どうでもええ。
それな、むずい。
こいつらの中ではヒカルはまだ生きとるんやな。何がその人をその人たらしめるんか。記憶、細胞、経験。
Well, memories and experiences are kind of the same.
人って何をもって本
Not the same, but kind of the same.
めっちゃええ匂いする女子っぽい。
いや、うちママ香りにこだわるタイプやからさ。
女子ってさ、むっちゃええ匂いするけどさ、なんで男は臭いん？
知らん。
な、今週末このメンツで遊ばん？
Basic logic, bro. Basic logic. Because guys don't give a fuck, right? We don't put any effort into actually making things smell good. A lot of girls do.
おお、ええやん。旅行とかしてみて。デデニーランドとかさ。
いや、さすがにそれは夢見すぎ。
What did he say?
旅行とかしてみて。デデニーランドとかさ。
Oh, Disneyland or something. I thought he said Diddyland. If you know, you know.
関の山やろ。
やったら俺んち使う？
ええの？急やない？大丈夫？
おう、多分。おかえに言うとくわ。
あざーす。
いい。
見せたるわ、俺の舞を。
ダサそう。私スイカ持ってくわ。
See, what he is feeling right now, kinda, is the burden of truth.
何勝手に決めとんねん。
He
こっちは何も
knows
ないで。
no one else does. Look at the size of this guy's neck.
親に車出してもらったから大丈夫やで。
よしきさ、俺ん部屋からなんかゲーム持ってきて。
なし鉄で。
うん。
Yeah. The burden of truth.
何も変わら
The
ん。
burden of knowing. You know that this person is dead, but no one else does.
ここで。
It reminds me of time travel, actually. You know, like the main character goes through like a time travel journey or whatever. Eventually ends up in like the very beginning of the story again. No one knows what happened because technically, quote unquote, it didn't happen. But the main character still has the memories of the whole journey. And they know what happened, but no one else does. And it's very, very depressing. Sometimes.
向こうでみんな飲んどるに。お前も行くで。
父さんとはろくに話してこやんかったけど、こん時のことはやけに覚えとる。あ、そうや、なし鉄。なんやこれ。なんかこぼしてカピカピになっとる。ヒカルの字よ。インドの役目。
綺麗やな。
You already know what I'm gonna say, right? Coincidence. Yay! Fucking coincidences. I love coincidences. We all love coincidences. Fucking coincidences, bro. Instead of just... I just need to talk about this, right? Instead of it being a coincidence that You know, he pulls out the game and it just drops onto the ground, right? Instead of doing that, why not just, like, think about the situation a little. Think about the scene, right? And then figure out a way where it makes sense for him to find this little piece of paper on his own. You could have, like, okay, so let just off the top of my dome, right? Off the top of the dome. Instead of doing whatever that was, right? Let's say he actually first, because the game is kind of on the ground in a low shelf, let's say, right? So he kneels down to kind of be at eye level with the games, right? And then he pulls out the game, starts looking at the game, you know, notices, oh, actually this is the wrong version, starts putting it back and is like, huh, I think there's something behind the games over there. He sees a little bit of paper behind the games, right? At the back of the fucking the shelf, right? Then he pulls a couple of games out, sees that there's some sort of paper on the shelf there behind the games. He pulls out the paper, bang, he's found the paper. Instead of having it fucking just fall onto the ground, because of course, right, it has to, make it an active thing that the character does to find it on his own. In that case, it would be less of a obvious coincidence of the paper just happens to fall onto the ground when he pulls the fucking game out. Instead of that obvious coincidence, at least in my version, even though it's still a coincidence, kind of, with him just happening to find it at the back of the fucking, you know, the thing, it's not like some sort of paper that just perfectly falls out when he pulls the game out. It's actually something that's hidden that the character happens to find. Or even better, you could do like, you know, their paper is hidden in the fucking back of the shelf, right? And Yoshiki is like, you know what, I'm gonna look through my dead friend's things because, you know, maybe he goes on a nostalgia trip or something, right? And then as he searches, then he finds the paper somewhere. Right? Instead of doing this coincidence of it just falling out. And then he gets important critical information due to some random paper that's in some random location that just happens to fall out at the exact perfect moment.
花火ってすげえすごい
みんなこっち見て。
最後の一本やったんやけど。
ああ、はいはい、俺の使えば。
謝れ。
あ、チャッカメンつかんくなってもうた。これ最後なんよな。山久行ってもらってくるわ。
ヒカル
お
私もついてく。
She 100% knows, or has realized that it's not
そう
the
いや
original,
さ、
right?
今年夏の終わりにでけえ花火大会あるらしいで。
らしいな。マキ行くん。
悩み中。
Well, these two are obviously,
ちょっと二人追い
you
か
know,
けてアイスも追加でって言うてくるわ。
うん。
ああ、やっぱ行こうかな、花火大会。
あ、そう。
just ask him, bro.
なあ。
Girls,
行方不明になった
girls, I'm just saying, let me break it down for you, okay? When a guy asks out a girl, there's maybe 5% chance that he might be successful. Maybe 10% if he's well dressed and actually has good conversationalist skills. And we're assuming that the other person is single. But yeah, there's ultimately like a 90 to 95% chance that they're gonna get rejected. But for girls, the likelihood of them succeeding is 50 to like 70%, which is why all you women out there, if you're interested, just ask him. You know, just fucking ask him. Don't do some bullshit about like, oh, you know, I gave him signals. Why didn't he fucking approach me? Don't do any of that shit. And bear in mind, the conversationalist skill also applies to women as well. You can't just be going to a guy and being like, hey, I like you when I go out with me. Like that's kind of, you know, that's kind of cringe, not gonna lie. Your 50 to 70% might fall down to like 20, if not even less. You gotta actually have some, I would say, like a decent ability to have a conversation.
なんかすっかり日常に戻った感あるけどさ、あん時お通夜みたいやったわ、ほんまに。戻ってきてくれてよかった。
うん。
なんかさ、意味わからんかったらスルーしてほしいんやけど。あなたは一体誰ですか？ほら、あっこなんかガシャンガシャン言うとるの聞こえるやろ？
そっか、朝子は聞こえる子なんやね。
お？
ばあばはな、聞こえやんけどちょっとだけ見える。うちはそういう家系なんや。
Interesting. So she can hear supernatural stuff.
死んだ人の魂が向こうの世界に行って、そんでまたこっち世界に戻ってくんねん。輪廻転生って言うんよ。
ようわからん。
ゆうちゃん。
Something is walking.
あーちゃん、今そっち行くで。
I'm guessing she's... Oh, interesting. Interesting. So there are good ones as well.
でも恐ろしいもんやからなるべく関わらんように。
Well, good is a matter of perspective.
守ってくれようとしたん？
大丈夫、もう勝手に飛び出したらあかんやろ。怪我しとらん？
ただ悪いもんばかりではないと思う。あなたは一体誰ですか？
なんでバレた？なんでバレた？なんでバレた？お。おい。朝子、おい、大丈夫か？お前何して？バレそうになったからつい何を？思えば赤よな。朝子はさすがに何が？死んでまったら悲しいよな。お前殺そうとこんな人の命やん。
And this is the ultimate problem here, right? If anything, I think the creature is too attached to Yoshiki here. Because it's like one of those situations where, yeah, he might not do anything to him, but like anyone else is kind of fair game.
死んどるのと生きとるのでそんなに違う。生きとる方が大切な。
And this is why
死んどるんも
it is a
こ
creature.
れからしたらさほど変わらん。死ぬのはそんな怖いことちゃうよ。ただ形が変わるだけやろ。
俺のことは殺したないって嘘か？
それはちゃうよ。お前は特別やから。お前が死んだら一緒にアイス食えんくなるやん。
あ、
Interesting. So he has like...
こんなことで女朝子も同じやろ。お前矛盾しとんぞ。どっち
Exactly.
が何かもわからんくせに何が特別や。
He has his own like philosophies and whatever mixing with Hikaru's the originals. He didn't say yes. He didn't say yes. He asked the question, but he didn't. There was no yes. There was no answer.
幽霊に取りつかれとるから
At this point, just tell her the truth. Like, come on.
ヒカルが帰ってきてから時々さ、声がおかしかったんよ。これヤバいんに取りつかれてまったんやって思って。でもそのヤバいやつ、ヨシキを守っとるみたいで、むしろ一緒におった方が安全かもみたいな時もあってん。やから、もしかしたら話通じるかもって話しかけてみてん。ヒカルの中のそいつに。
If I was in this situation, I would 100% be like, just, dude, tell her the truth. Like, this is one of those situations where she kind of already knows something's up, right? Not to mention, she seems to, the more you talk to her, the more you realize, oh, she's not completely against the idea of these supernatural creatures, so, and it would probably help Yoshiki deal with the situation. Not have to be alone with the knowledge that, the original's dead.
いや、信じるよ。
ありがとう。
貧血とかやったら怖いし、先戻って。
And I think the person who should tell her is Hikaru, actually. Because this is ultimately the fact. This is what it comes down to. If this creature wants to live among them, he's gonna have to get used to people knowing about him.
ヨシキ。
There's no killing people the moment they find out.
ヨシキ大丈夫な？昨日急に帰ったけど、よっぽどの腹痛いやつやな。
ヨシキにお大事にって。
言うとくわ。
Dude, if I was writing this, right? This is the moment where you need the characters to have their own personalities and differences. I would have Hikaru now, or this fake one. Maybe he and Yoshiki aren't talking or whatever. I would have him on his own go talk to what was her name? Asuka, maybe? I don't know. I would have him go talk to the girl on his own and tell the truth. And then Yoshiki finds out that, oh, he went and told her the truth on his own, and he regains some trust with him, right? He regains some trust with Yoshiki. That's what I would do.
行ってきます。
ヒカル、学校行くで。
Alright, that was episode 6. Now, good episode. I do hope that they do get this girl more into the know, I guess. That they do tell her. Somehow I'm getting the feeling that they're not going to, but I do hope they do. One thing I've started noticing is that it's surprisingly rare to have Yoshiki or Hikaru on their own. They're always together. And I'm starting to feel like that might be almost like a detriment to the story overall, because, or at least, like, for now it's still fine because it's, we've only had like 6 episodes. But I feel like around this time, they need to start having some individual scenes with other characters. And I like I said with my example earlier, I think it would be a great idea if Hikaru, on his own, makes the decision to go and tell her the truth. And then she accepts him, or, you know, they have a talk, she accepts him, and then Yoshiki finds out about it later and is like, oh, he told her on his own. That's a big commitment, right? And I think these types of like individual scenes with other characters could be good for both the characters. Because again, when was the last time we had really a, like, we have occasional moments with Yoshiki being alone, like, you know, this where he was like going through the room, but ultimately almost every scene is them just together all the time. And yeah, they're like best friends, they you know, hang out in school, they hang out after school, but like, this is a story ultimately, right? And yeah, and you want to have the characters interacting with other characters. But yeah, it seems like Hikaru is starting to, or this, you know, fake Hikaru is starting to really think about, what is life? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Also, let's remember here, I am pretty sure he said nothing when they were talking, and he was asking whether or not he killed the old lady. He didn't say anything. In other words, that's not a yes, but it's also not a no. I feel like if he didn't kill him, he would have just said no. If he did kill him, he might feel like he can't say yes. So we don't really know yet. There could be more to it. Regardless, that was episode 6 of The Summer Hikaru Died. I shall see you next time in episode 7. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.